Hi, I'm Brian Barnett, Mayor of the City of Rochester Hills, and as always, thanks for watching. You know, if you've lived in the City of Rochester Hills for the last few years, you may have seen every year, about this time of year, the Rochester Hills Fire Department wraps a couple of our ambulances in unique colors. And over the past years, we've supported issues like drawing attention to mental health and breast cancer awareness and even autism awareness. And this month, you are going to see these brightly colored green ambulances out and about around town supporting and talking about the importance of Gift of Life Michigan and becoming an organ donor. And perhaps never before have we had such an interesting and personal story to tell than we do this year. I want to introduce you to two members, longtime members, 28 years of service and 17 years of service, Captain Tim Matz and Captain Larry Gambato, who both have a very specific story about Gift of Life. And let me start with you, Captain Matz. Why does this matter so much to you?
Well, in 2016, I got diagnosed with kidney failure, and that put me on dialysis, where I would have to go 3 times a week for about 4 hours at a time to have my blood cleaned. Right away, my doctors said, we're going to put you on the transplant list. I went through the process, and in September of 2020, I was called to come down to Royal Oak Beaumont Hospital to potentially receive a kidney transplant. It happened, and that's 2.5 years ago. And it's been an incredible enhancement to my life, for my family here at Rochester Hills, and my life in general.
A great story. A personal member of our community out working every day to save lives in our community had his life saved by someone who participated in Gift of Life. There are currently over 100,000 people on the wait list waiting for organ transplants. And Larry, in your situation, Captain, you had a similar situation, but years ago. Tell us a little bit about your story.
So in 1999, I was diagnosed with leukemia. The gold standard for treatment at that time was a bone marrow transplant. After being diagnosed, I went on to a kind of a waiting period as they went out to the registries and looked for a donor, a specific match for me that would be best fit for what I had and for the markers that I had, and that would be compatible with what I had, my system. I was very fortunate. My transplant was textbook, doctors had said. And again, that was 23 years ago. In 2000, I was transplanted. Yeah. My donor was a New York City fireman, which kind of led me then into the fire service and brought me here all these years later.
So. What a story. What a story. And Tim, you are the father of 5 kids. You're waiting on a list to get a call. Do you remember where you were when you got that call?
I do. I was home. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had just come off dialysis. My wife was at work, and my phone rang, and they said, hey, can you come down? We have a possible kidney for you. So I scrambled around. I made a few phone calls, and unfortunately, my wife and my brother they couldn't make it. They couldn't come get me, but my sister was able to come grab me, drive me down to the hospital. And they tell you right away, you may not be transplanted today. We have to go through a bunch of checks, but 1:30 in the morning, they wheeled me into the surgical room, and they said, it's going to happen, and here we go. And it's been great ever since.
You know, you shared with me just before, your donor has had a pretty impressive impact, right?
Yes. My donor actually saved 6 of us. With the family making a decision to donate the organs, 6 people walked away with a new chance on life. And I am one who's very grateful for that. It has completely changed what I do, and I'm sure the other 5 people, it's the same.
Of course. And Captain, you have an interesting story with your donor as well, right?
Yeah, he retired from the FDNY and was a big supporter of me coming into the fire service and kind of mentored me into that and brought me here eventually to Rochester Hills.
You still stay in touch with them?
Still stay in touch with them very often. I can put them on the phone with us right now if I wanted to.
Yeah. This is so important. You can't make this up. 2 members of our fire department that have been blessed by someone making a decision to find out more about what Gift of Life means, making that decision on your license to check it out. There's a website that you'll see on the bottom of this screen that will tell you how you can make a difference. It has impacted the Rochester Hills community, the Rochester Hills Fire Department, these 2 families, and I hope that you will this time, when you see these trucks driving around town, make a difference for others as well. We are so grateful for those that have helped those on the list because they've made a difference for us. Gift of Life Michigan, check it out. We encourage you in this month of April to do something to create a legacy, as gentlemen before them have, for both of these folks. Thank you so much for watching, And thank you for choosing to make a difference with Gift of Life.